It's finished at Meadow Lane, Notts County 3, Altrincham 1, and Phil Parkinson joins us. Phil, we've lost the game, which we knew there was a decent chance that would happen. But you've got to be really pleased with the performance today and the amount of chances that we've created.
Yeah, do you know what? Last week, I had a little go at the lads because I wasn't too pleased with the overall performance, and we've won. This week, I was really proud of the performance, really delighted with how we played, how we contained them for large parts of the game. It's never been a 3-1 win for Notts. It was a much closer game than that, and we created more chances. But hey, the difference for us, everyone can see it, is how clinical their striker was. I think he's touched it about 5 times today and scored 2 goals. I thought he had a hat-trick, to be honest with you, but that's where we are in the grand scale of things, and it doesn't mean our players are poor. It's just we're not quite at them levels in terms of efficiency of finishing. It's not a one-off. It's something we see every week, and that's not down to our players. It's the level we're playing at. That's the big difference. 1, 2 chances, goal. We need 3 or 4 chances to score 1. So yeah, it's something we're aware of. But I tell you what, we could have come here and absolutely been dominated. We certainly weren't. Well in the game. Possession was great for periods. It was back into they had possession, we had possession. But I felt the chances we created were far better than theirs.
I think the game plan seemed to work really well. I thought we made Notts defensively look very, very ordinary, and that's because what you've sent them out there to do, they've done really well, particularly in the first half. When we throughout the game, but in the first half, we really opened them up with ease.
Yeah, well, we've worked hard this week, and the work Neil does with them on the training pitch is second to none. So we had a little shape change, and the lads have worked exceptionally hard at the 3-5-2. We could have been headstrong and stuck with our normal shape, but we've given a little bit of respect. But we haven't changed the way we want to play. We've just got extra numbers in certain positions to give ourselves a bit of protection. But yeah, it's really disappointing at the moment, because I feel like I'm coming on every week saying we're not getting what we deserve. That's got to turn at some point. But again, when you come into Notts County, as you alluded to, nobody's expecting us to probably get anything. We haven't, so we haven't let anyone down. We didn't have 3 points or 2 points or a point at the start. We haven't got anything right now, so there's nothing lost, nothing gained. It feels like you've lost something when you don't get the 3 points or 1 point. But we haven't started with that, so we haven't lost anything. And we need to keep playing the way we are, and we will pick up points, because the lads as a group are coming together more and more. It's difficult for me to keep saying the positive messages to him, because they're losing games or drawing games. But if we keep picking up points away from home, the way we have done, and then we're going to have a glut of home games at some point, that's where we'll be really judged at this season in terms of can we pick up their maximum points at home. And I think we will, judging by the performances and the application in training that I'm seeing from these players.
On the negative side, the 2 goals before half-time were both disappointing from our point defensively.
Infuriating, because that's the learning curve for this group. We've conceded 1 at a very good place. Whether we should have conceded or not conceded, we have. And then notoriously, for whatever reason, we're conceding very quickly straight after that. I even said to Neil, it'd be interesting to see if we get to half-time at 1-0, because of the way we go in terms of when we conceded 1. And that's not a tactical thing. It's just a mentality thing of the players to learn when they're in that position to recognise now that they've got to be even heightened, even more aware, probably concede ground a little bit just to get into half-time, and be really difficult to beat and grind it out. And then you go in at 1-0 down, and we've scored, haven't we? We're 1-1 then. It's interesting to see how they react to that. But yeah, we've got to do better in that moment, in that situation. But that's for the group. That's probably what they're learning. They're learning really difficult lessons at the highest level of non-league against the best players in non-league. So if you don't get things absolutely right, that's what happens.
Well, plenty of good individual performances, but I thought Ryan Colclough, particularly in the second half, was unplayable.
He's very good, and he deserved to probably get a goal. I was disappointed with his finish at the back post there. I felt he probably should have had a touch, then finished it. But listen, Ryan will have a moment in the season where everything he hits will go in. It's just not going that way for him, but he's working so hard for the team, really unselfish stuff that he's doing that you wouldn't associate with that style of player. And Ryan's giving me everything, and that's all I can ask of players in this team, in this division, is to give us everything, play the way that we want them to play, and we're fairly confident the rest will take care of itself.
And another long trip, or a long trip on Tuesday night to Gateshead. A very good side. It's another. They're all tough assignments, but we should probably expect another very close game, I would think.
Yeah, well, if you look at the stats and predicted or projected points from performances and all this, the statistical analysis that goes on now, not that it means anything in terms of league positions, but if you look at where you should be, both teams are probably in a false position, probably should be about mid-table. But again, it means nothing. We've got to go get them points. So we certainly won't be taking them lightly. We need to hit them performance levels we've hit today. And goals have got to start crashing in for us, and we've got to get back to keeping clean sheets. So we got a clean sheet last week. We need to get back to doing that against these types of teams, in particular the Gatesheads. The big four, it's very difficult to do that against because they only need, as you've seen today, moments and it's a goal. You drop off once or twice, whereas they've dropped off once, twice, maybe three times, and we haven't scored. So the efficiency in both boxes is there for everyone to see, but there's not a great deal of difference between us and Notts County on that showing. But again, you've got two teams trying to play a very similar way, trying to outthink, outplay each other, create overloads in different areas of the pitch. And unfortunately, they were far better in the box than we were today.